Hello everyone, this is CtrlStarcraft. My name is Joe.
And I'm Jace.
And welcome to another broadcast of mine. And this is going to be a TvT broadcast, 1v1. This is a platinum game. I'm spawning in the 6 o'clock position as CtrlAltDfeat the blue Terran. And Mordrare, we haven't figured this out, is spawning in the 8 o'clock position as the red Terran.
It's a cool name. It's original.
Yeah. And so yeah, here goes the scouts going out. I, of course, scout the wrong position at first. Oh no, wait, this is my supply depot. Yeah, I'm walling because I'm a scrub. Normally, you know, the only thing you should really put on your ramp in TvT is a bunker or two to, you know, counter that good old marine rush that people like to do. Because, hey, I don't blame people who marine rush because really, sometimes TvT just gets boring to go through all those long games, and it's nice to be able to end it quickly sometimes. So yeah. Mordrare and CtrlAltDfeat. Here goes my SCV going to the 2 o'clock position. And here comes my barracks. I'm getting it at 10 supply. Well, 10 supply, including the SCV that just came in. And also, basically, to summarize it up, if you didn't see my last cast, which was my first, barracks at 9 supply, and, supply depot at 9 supply, barracks at 10. And then when your barracks finishes, get your orbital command right away and start muling, because you need those mules. Mules are just so crucial because TvT is big on macro, because really, you just build tanks and Vikings, so macro wins.
It's whoever has the most tanks and Vikings.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, there's micro in there because you're allocating parts of your Viking groups. I don't actually know how many Vikings can one-hit another Viking, but the best thing you can do when you get those big Viking battles in TvT is try to get groups of Vikings, or control group them if you want, so that you can one-hit their Vikings and then just use shift to target Viking by Viking. And that'll help you with your air battles, because air superiority is huge in TvT because it gives your tanks +1 range, because tanks can only see 12. I think it's 12, but they have a range of 13. So
they can shoot farther than their little ring.
Pretty much, their sight ring, yes. Yeah. And getting that first Marine out to take care of those pesky scouts. Oh, Mordrare got his out, but I think, yeah, my SCV got away with 9 health. And there goes his SCV. And his SCV decided to scout that position, even though my SCV's going back to my base. Not sure what he's thinking. Maybe he just wants to take a nice stroll through these through the streets of the Dominion. So yeah, and also got an early gas. Usually you want to get your next gas right after your orbital command finishes like this, and get your mule out, and continue producing Marines, like maybe 2, unless you see a Marine rush coming. I didn't see one coming, but I decided to bunker up my Marines anyway because I had a little bit of extra minerals. And a full bunker, really effective against the Marine rush, especially on the high ground like this. Because you can start your Marines over here if you see it coming with the Xel'Naga, which I never tank because, again, I'm a noob. And then you can see these guys coming and shoot them from the high ground, then proceed to jump into your bunker when they get around to attack you there. So, yeah, here I am, you know. What was that? Oh, yep, SCV. Poor guy. There goes his little drill. If you look in your smoked out part of your base, I think you got something going down there. Oh yeah, there's my factory.
A factory for a pre-built tech lab?
Yeah, I'm pre-building. I end up pre-building a tech lab for a starport for a little bit of a fast Banshee action here, because I love Banshees. They're awesome. They do a lot of damage. And oftentimes I've seen Banshees turn the tide in TvT. Turn the tide in TvT. Okay, yeah, I can say that. And what's great about Banshees is, you know, they do so much damage and they can cloak. And too many times I see Banshees being neglected in the late stages of TvT. Like, people will rush with them, and then, you know, people will get a couple turrets down to defend, and they'll be like, okay, Banshees aren't viable anymore. They just won't make them. But, you know, people will get lazy, and they'll be using their scan energy for mules, and you can catch them unawares by, you know, bringing in a couple cloaked Banshees to kill some of their siege tanks while you move in. And, you know, that can be GG right there if you just get some tanks with some surprise Banshees in late game that they weren't expecting. And also, there weren't any in this game because it didn't really, I mean, it only went to, you know, 1924 and, you know, our little StarCraft time here. But Ravens are very good for the for those Viking air battles I was talking about earlier because of their point defense drones. And if you're encountering point defense drones, you know, if you're having an issue with dealing with them, but you don't want to quite retreat, you know, if you have stim your Marines, run them up, and shoot the point defense drones, because point defense drones are only effective against projectile attacks. Marines do not have a projectile attack. Well, technically they do, but not in StarCraft terms. And, you know, of course, they're only effective against projectile attacks of Vikings. And here's my Banshee. You know, I have it on 2 times, so I'm not going to keep you watching YouTube for too long. And it's got 4 kills already, and then I should be shooting the SCV, but, you know, whatever. Let's just shoot the building, because we're awesome. And the Marines chase me out, and, you know, in this position, if you're stuck with Marines like this on an edge here, and you have, you know, your Banshee here, Banshees have 1 more range than Marines. So if you're really fast, you can out-micro the Marines with your Banshees because of that +1 range. And also, a little side note, if you're Banshee rushing and you don't quite have cloaking, or you don't want to cloak, if you encounter 3 Marines, a Banshee can take, an unupgraded Banshee can take on 3 unupgraded Marines and live. 4 or more will kill the Banshee, like that. I don't really know why he wasted stim for that. Maybe he just really wanted to kill it. And finally got his engineering bay down, but, you know, I stopped Banshee rushing after that, because I'm just like, you know what, whatever. I'm going to focus on making tanks. Uh-oh, a little bit of lag here. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, I'm only running this game on 2 gigs of RAM, but I have a really nice graphics card, and my RAM was supposed to come in the mail, but right now it's sitting in the post office that closes at noon. Not sure how that works, but, you know, whatever.
It's the government.
Yeah. Alright, and here's my expansion going down, and, really, I mean, my expansion is particularly late in TvT, especially considering the amount of minerals I have. But Mordred hasn't even expanded yet. So, you know, not the best role model for, you know, an opponent for me. But, hey, it was a good game.
Don't diss Mordred.
I will diss Mordred.
He will find you and hunt you down find out where you live
I think he's found me. Yeah, I'm in the 6 o'clock position. If he doesn't know that by now, there's a big problem with his game.
Oh, okay, I see how you turned it around there.
Yeah,
to make it on StarCraft. Okay.
Exactly.
Alright, anyway.
Jace likes relating video games to real life, because sometimes he can't discern them very well.
What? What do you even... Okay, you know what? Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's get on with it. So, I think he's putting down some turrets because he thinks you're gonna keep up with the Banshees.
Yeah,
that's kind of a waste of 200 minerals.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. Another plus about Banshee rushing is it scares your opponent into building turrets to defend against possible future Banshee rushes, which really never come.
Instead of a shiny new tank, he's got some turrets that won't do anything for him.
A shiny new tank.
Or an upgrade or whatever.
Which, hey, 1 tank, that could make the difference. Oh, poor Marine. Oh,
well, yeah, well, that's kind of what it's about, TvT. If you guys are going the same strategies, it's really about who has more and who can use them better.
Exactly. Oh, poor tank. That tank's gonna die, but I have 2 more.
Like, watch here. You've got your air superiority, and you're gonna take
I actually
out all
have
of these
equal
Marines.
Vikings, but the only reason I win this is because I decided to focus those Vikings down of his. Oh, yeah, that was poor micro. Don't let those Marines get shot like that. Sometimes you'll want to put your units on a hold position so they don't run into tank lines. And this is just a little bit of Viking battle. I mean, not really a battle, since it's really just him going forward and me shooting at him and him running back. But, again, here's the perfect example of air superiority. It's so crucial. Here comes my next tank. It's sieging up. If you'll notice, it's in range of these tanks, but it can't see. If you look at my sight and everything, see, it cannot see them. It can only see this Viking here. So when I get my Vikings up there and maintain air superiority over his Vikings and be able to see those tanks, that'll give my tank sight to hit his tanks. So, yeah. See how that works here. Go my Vikings.
If you actually do it.
Yeah, I think I do it. Oh,
there you go.
See, there he goes. But I kill his, and I get, you know, the air superiority, and then he's done.
Yeah, he's done right here because he doesn't have his Vikings left. He's got to pull out.
Yep. All right, let's go back to everyone, and let's look at the income tab. Yep. Okay. I am about 200 minerals ahead with more harvesters because he has not even expanded yet.
Now
look at that. He's just now expanding.
He's gonna expand real quick, but you're on your 3rd now.
Correct. I am on my 3rd. This, however, ends up being just a gas expansion because you'll notice I have a pretty bad, you know, balance of gas to minerals, and most people try to offset that by building Marines, but I like building more tanks and Vikings because they're the core units, and most people will say, oh, you got to have the Marauders to stim in and, you know, kill the tanks. But if you're, you know, watching your army while macroing really well, and, you know, zooming back and forth a lot, you'll be able to see those Marauders, if you have, you know, a forward scout or some good scans going on, you'll be able to see them coming at you through a Zelnaga or whatever you have. You'll be able to siege up your tanks before the Marauders get there. And the tanks are going to 3-hit the Marauders, 2-hit if you have them upgraded enough, plus splash damage. And otherwise, you know, in regular tank mode, the Marauders are going to win, because they're much more cost-effective against tanks in tank mode. However, too many times I've also seen people underestimating tanks in tank mode. I mean, sometimes it can be very useful against tanks that are in siege mode. If you just run them really close, they won't be in range. And here goes getting my gas expansion up. He decided to scan. I mean, also, you know, TvT, you'll see a lot of scans going back and forth, which is another thing. You can afford to do scans in TvT a lot because of all the gas that's being spent. You don't need mules because you're not doing anything with a lot of those minerals unless you're building those marines, which, I mean, you'll see his marines don't really work out for him. But they can. I mean, if he found this expansion, he could just run them up here, take care of it, and then stim away from my tanks.
Alright, and now as the game's just about is coming down to a close as you make your final push, thing to note is that this guy is running off of one factory.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have he doesn't have that many bases, and B, he's running off one factory. He's trying to bottleneck all his resources for tanks through one factory. He's not even producing right now. You gotta make tanks in TvT. It's all about tanks and Vikings. However, he does have a reactor.
He's got his reactor, and he's got...
But I have two, so I have 50% more production.
And he does have a lot more Marines than you do, but in the long run, they're just going to get taken out by this awesome vision and air superiority, because you've got probably twice as many Vikings as he does.
Not quite. I got, let's see, 8, 5, 13 Vikings, and then he has 7. So yeah, that is twice as much. Sorry to correct you incorrectly there.
Yeah, alright, but anyway, so...
I'm gonna slow this down so you guys can see this. This is a pretty nice Marine death if you like to see Marines being fodder for tanks. All right, here goes those Marines. Oh, okay. Look at this.
He runs
look at
them
this.
straight into them, stim them to
boom,
take out your
boom,
Vikings.
Boom, boom, boom.
Probably gets like 2 shots off on your Vikings, and they all die.
And before this game closes, let's look at the units lost tab. Yeah, the units lost. He has lost 71. I have lost 7 units. 7 units in a TvT game. He's lost 5,025.
My math isn't that good, but I'm pretty sure that's 10 to 1.
Pretty much.
All right. So and 4,000, about 4,000 more minerals in
exactly.
losses, so.
And here are my Vikings come to finish off his Vikings. These Marines are being a little annoying right now, but really I don't think they kill. Oh, they kill that Viking.
And he's probably gonna GG.
Oh, there goes the there go the
no
Marines.
GG. Okay, but yeah.
Oh, no GG. That's a shame. You know what? I mean, lots of people. I hear the term rage quit being used when someone quits without GGing, but to me, that's not raging. That's just
rage quit is like, ZOMG, you effing noob. I could have done this if I wanted to, but I wanted to use an intra-string strategy, or I wanted to use skill, or something
micro.
Like that.
I didn't want to use macro. I went with micro. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Macro beats micro any day of the week. Micro is. It becomes essential, but macro is just so much more crucial. I mean, to those of you who think, you know, you can win with proper micro...
I'm gonna kite your whole Zealot army with 1 Marine.
Yeah, that's not possible. It's possible with Marauder, though. As long as you have concussive shells.
Yeah.
Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that broadcast, and I hopefully will be casting more soon enough. And yeah, so just post comments, tell me what you think of these games, and see ya!
Alright, this, yeah, it's
CtrlStarcraft, that's me, and this is Jace.
I'm Jace.
See ya.
See ya.